Welcome to Aya and welcome to Aya Golden Energy Healing. So in this video we're going to talk you through some different techniques for reducing pain within your own body. The first one is just a variant on the Golden Energy self-healing exercise that we've described in the last two lessons. I won't go through the whole exercise now because you've seen it before in two videos already, and hopefully you've been practicing it as well. But the main difference is the visualization when you're programming the energy. You can do it in a number of ways. It's completely up to you. But one way I used to do it was to visualize a color for the pain, and then that color changing as the healing energy was relieving the pain. So using a headache as an example, and using the golden energy self-healing exercise that we taught you before. You would gather the golden energy in the solar plexus storage area on the in-breath as normal. And then on the out-breath, as you're breathing out, you move it up the spine, past the neck and into the head. And then this is where you'd add the programming during the pause at the bottom of the breath. But instead of visualizing something biological happening with the pain reduction, you visualize the pain area all red. Say if the pain is up here, you see it as all red. And then when the healing energy gets to that pain point, it turns everything completely green. It's just a soothing color instead of an angry color, that's all. So that's another way of using visualizations. They don't always have to be anatomically accurate. In fact, sometimes the biological processes involved are just too complicated to visualize properly. So sometimes it's fine just to have a generalized one. It's all about intent, really. Another variation on this pain reduction exercise is to target the thalamus in the brain. Let me explain. So in the center of the brain, there's a region called the thalamus, and it acts like a relay station in the nervous system between the sensory organs and the cerebral cortex. Now, the cerebral cortex is the region that does all the analytical thinking and complex processing. But the thalamus in the center of the brain handles all the sensory information coming from the body, which includes pain. So all pain goes through the thalamus. So it's a perfect place to target if we want to reduce the pain. Now, I developed this technique a long time ago when I used to suffer quite a lot from kidney stones. So this method's quite good if you need to apply it to strong pain or for long lengths of time. You know, lengths of time where doing constant breath work just isn't suitable. So this method is just a visualization, and it takes some practice. It's still a form of energy healing though, because you're still sending healing energy to go and do the job. You're just not combining it with the breath this time. You need to be able to visualize your own thalamus though. So it's best if you quickly look online and see some pictures of the brain and the thalamus and where it's actually located in the center of your head. Next, you need to visualize it in your own head. So then the next part, again, is up to you. Now, I used to visualize the energy squeezing the whole thalamus so the pain signals couldn't get through. Or, you know, sometimes I'd visualize a percentage scale and I'd force the pain levels down the scale from, say, 100% all the way down to about 10%. And that would actually work. Again, you choose your own visualization for this one. It's the intent that matters. And if you've got a lot of pain that won't go away, this technique may help it somewhat. It probably won't completely remove it, but it might reduce it depending on how much you practice. I always found actually that a combination of both methods works. You know, doing some golden energy self-healing with the breath, do that for 15 minutes or so, and then carry on with the thalamus for half an hour or so, and then switch back and so on. You know, it really just does depend how much pain you're in, really. Okay, and lastly, as we're talking about pain management, we want to draw your attention to a technique using meditation. Now, it's not strictly golden energy healing, but it fits perfectly here because we're talking about self-healing. So this method of reducing pain definitely doesn't take it away, but it manages it. It changes your relationship to pain. Now, if you can get your head around this technique, you really will be able to deal with any types of pain at any time. And this will make such a difference to your life in general. You won't be scared of pain anymore. So this is what you do. It's so simple, but it takes so much discipline. Normally with pain, we want to run away from it, don't we? We do anything possible to stop feeling that pain, even to the point of trying to distract ourselves so we don't even notice it. But if you ever changed your direction and gone towards the pain instead? What I mean is, have you ever just let the pain be and in fact tried to feel it even more deeply? Now, to do this, all you have to do is meditate on it. If you've been watching or attending our other courses on self-healing called the Aya Healing Pyramid, you'll know all about the subject and the object. In meditation, there's a split between you doing the meditating and the object of meditation, which is whatever you're focused on in the mind. True meditation is just focusing on one thing and keeping your focus on it for as long as possible. So in this exercise, you're going to use the pain as an object of meditation. You find the epicenter of the pain and you focus all of your attention on it. Don't allow your focus to drift. Don't allow thoughts. Don't allow distractions. Nothing exists in the world apart from you and your pain. So it's like you bring it closer. You make friends with it. Now, a very strange thing happens when you do this for a length of time. Actually, a few things happen. Well, first of all, you shut the mind stream right down. So thoughts are not allowed in this space. So suddenly you realize that half the problem was the way that the mind reacts to the pain. You actually realize that suffering is mostly in the mind. When the mind's silent, there's no more complaining. There's no more screaming inside. No more whining about taking the pain away. So then there's just the pain left. And it's still painful, obviously. So the next thing that happens is that your relationship to that pain starts to change. Now, it takes a while for this to happen and takes a good bit of practice, so keep at it. But basically, you start to view the pain differently. It starts morphing into something else. It becomes more like just a strange sensation in the body. The edge gets taken off it. It gets less painful. Once you lose concentration, though, it comes back again. But slowly you get better and better at staying in the present moment, in full concentration, in the peaceful place where pain is not hurting you anymore. So eventually what this does is that it teaches you a thing or two about suffering itself and the illusory nature of suffering. And on top of all that, you're meditating. Talk about being efficient. You're doing all sorts of things at once. Any time spent meditating has all sorts of other benefits, of course. Now, you'll have to watch our Aya Healing Pyramid course to find out more about that. Right, that's about it. Now, don't forget to follow or subscribe for more lessons. See you soon.